M2 money supply. That is big for crypto.
Mature, and saying it has no inherent value, yet they're one of regulation. The Fed.
So if China would enter crypto, if you don't remember, basically it banned all crypto, and they hate crypto in a sense. But if they can get crypto back to its point where, people were buying and trading it, imagine if people came in and bought XRP as soon as it launched in the markets. Right now, people cannot buy crypto in Russia and US, but that is a big money supply that could be coming in if they enable. Even I have nothing against Chinese coins, if they are regulated, and if they're their own thing. I mean, that might be a crazy take. I think US coins might perform better overall, but there's going to be like two communities for that. And that's where there could be a ton of money in joining power. Like crypto is crypto, right? There's a pretty big community there on TikTok and things like that. They use their own apps. So that could be a totally different thing that we never saw before. There is a very small community on crypto, basically. It's mostly in Korea, from what I remember, if I'm correct.
Federal Reserve,
which I am.
Actually just talked about Bitcoin, and the OCC talked about Bitcoin. We also have Vanguard calling Bitcoin immature and saying it has no inherent value, yet they're actually the number one holder of MSTR shares.
Okay, what? Why would Vanguard say that Bitcoin has no value and crypto has no value if they hold so much Bitcoin? Maybe they're trying to dump the price and buy more
of MSTR shares. So let's talk about all this. If you don't mind, hit subscribe. Different UIs.
Again, there is something, the M2 predicted this pump perfectly. Guess what happens next? And everybody's talking about the M2 money supply. Basically, if you don't know, there's more and more money coming into this world. And people have become bored of investing in real estate. What will they invest in next? Will they invest into gold? Gold is very stable, and it's usually just a safety mechanism for a lot of people. So what else can you invest? You can invest in real estate. So what else? The stocks, sure. If you have $2 million or $1 million, you can make pretty decent money on stocks. But where were the most millionaires made in the last 10 years? Crypto. So everybody, every kid on the block is talking about crypto because with high rent, with high food costs, like milk being $20, of course, people will want to get rich to afford the life they see on social media. So are people going to be working still 20 years and putting all of their money into stocks to make 10%, 3% a year? Right now, it's 7% because the markets are very bullish. No, I think kids will look for quick fixes. I think that's what, when I go to the gym, I see everybody is looking for a quick fix. And that's exactly what crypto is. That's why people are going there
really move
to get it.
But then we saw a $10,000 move by Bitcoin over the last week, or over the last 4.
So yeah, that's why Bitcoin gained $10,000. It's literally people downloading the apps again and buying their XRP, buying their crypto.
5 days. So it's coming back in line with the M2 money supply. And the crazy thing is, both the US and China are looking at printing money, significant amounts of money. Those are the two.
They're literally always printing money. That's why people and these big corporations are buying. They're having, their money is not the issue. They're already making billions and billions of dollars every single year. But what can you do when you have so much money? You have to reinvest it. And that's why they're buying Bitcoin. That's why they're buying BTC, XRP, Solana. That's why they're diversified. They don't want to only hold Bitcoin. What if Bitcoin goes down compared to other altcoins? When you invest $1,000, the difference might be $300, but with 1 million, it might be 300,000. So 300,000, lots of money, right? For these corporations. When they have to pay employees, they put it in stocks, real estate. And I feel like more people are going to be turning from real estate. They're going to be turning into cryptocurrencies and other assets. Real estate is getting harder to rent. It's getting more expensive. And it's just not worth it when someone can destroy your apartment that you rent for $700, $1,000 and someone comes in and destroys your apartment, makes $3,000 of damage, and then you have all that stuff when you could be saying, oh, I could have put it in stocks or Bitcoin. And when you put it in stocks or Bitcoin, you could be passively making that money. So yeah, if you're like, renting out real estate, you got to realize these corporations, they want easy money. They want money that's not going to be a problem when they are looking at their financial returns. And that's why I see corporations don't buy it. They literally can't list it as an expense in the US, from what I remember. Maybe they can buy like an office, but they can't rent out all of that.
Obviously, economic superpowers in the world. The US hasn't even started cutting rates yet, but
So once we get rates cut off, I definitely think we could see 170K for Bitcoin.
Of the newly issued housing loans. I mean, imagine that. Let's say all of a sudden the Fed cut rates. And
yeah, exactly. This is history repeating itself. Once we got these mortgage rate cuts, which Trump has been calling for such a long time, this could be the issue.
They said, okay, we cut rates. You can get like a 3% mortgage. And everyone that got those 6, 7, 8% mortgages, we'll just lower them for you. Like, we'll come in and print the money. We'll lower them to 3% for you.
So yeah, people couldn't even afford houses. They couldn't afford to get loans. Sorry guys, didn't eat yet. But the thing I'm trying to make is this M2 money supply, there's too much money in this world. And big retail investors or big institutions, and also now retail investors are realizing that, because it's usually first the big corporations. They don't want to tell people, hey, you have too much money. The banks don't tell that. The banks, have tons of money, so they're going to do their own thing first. And then the people will realize, hey, maybe having $10,000 on the account shouldn't be good. Maybe we should invest it in assets. And that's exactly as planned, exactly as people predict.
That is game-changing stimulus. I mean, think about how much money that makes the average person. If you have a $300,000 mortgage and you go from 6% down to 3%, that could change hundreds, if not like $1,000 a month. So that was kind of crazy. And then they also announced the central bank is creating new monetary tools to support the stable development of the stock market. Basically saying,
yeah, so they're doubling down on the stock market, and they're also doubling down on Bitcoin. XRP is going to be 0% tax when you sell it. That's what Trump just said. From regulating Bitcoin to actually accepting it and giving it 0% tax, they did a full 180 this administration. 4 years ago, they wanted to regulate it and destroy it. And XRP had a $500 million lawsuit. So what this tells me is Bitcoin and crypto is going to be basically US little baby. They see there's a lot of money, it's basically a cash cow. So there's a lot of money to be made by basically adopting these companies. Like XRP is based in the US. It has like 900 employees, 500 or 900. Anyway, in 5 different countries. I'm pretty sure it's 900. And instead of them having a huge lawsuit and tons of money being lost because of that, they say, hey, XRP, build us better banks. We're going to work with you. And when we build better banks, we want you to basically build a blockchain for us, build all the utilities for it. And we're going to get all the employees' benefits, the taxes. We're still going to tax you. But when people sell your crypto, you're going to be 0%. And XRP is like, hell yeah. I'm going to be working with the US government, who's probably going to invest $3 billion like it's nothing into me. And then XRP, slowly kind of walks away, very proud, like walking down to the car and being happy because they just made $3 billion and it's a win-win for both sides. The US government gets great system. It basically shows to other countries and other crypto companies, if you come to the US and become a crypto company, if you form in the US and hire US employees, you're going to have lots more buyers coming in. They want to basically make a tax hub for crypto. They want to make the big hub, and they show to other countries, hey, we have XRP. Hey, we have ADA. So Cardano is based in US. We have XLM, Stellar, or I think even Hedera is in US, and that gives like China, basically China which doesn't like crypto, it wants to regulate it. Now, China might be forced to enter crypto as well, which would pump XRP, which would pump crypto.
Them to just like literally hand out checks like we saw back in COVID. So, well,
again, they're going to have to try to find another way because US is saying this is so much money. What should we do? US comes in and swoops all the market. China basically is going to focus in other technology. They do have great technology, by the way. But Bitcoin like that, you know, if they buy 700 million of Bitcoin, other countries might follow. Just like US had done a lot of stuff, other countries followed. So I remember when US said Bitcoin is nice, tons of other countries said Bitcoin is legal tender, like smaller countries. So maybe European Union will also say, hey, Bitcoin isn't that bad.
Proof of it, it's not against the rules. And you can see just regulation improving and just more clarity on regulation as well. Of course,